Right now, I'm at Babylonstoren in South Africa. On the surface, it looks like a beautiful farm. Gardens, vineyards, animals, restaurants, a spa, and luxury accommodation. But underneath, this is a carefully designed ecosystem of businesses that, by my rough calculations, is probably pushing $100 million per year. So in this video, I'm going to show you 4 things. Number 1, how their offer ladder works, all the different ways they turn visitors into revenue. Number 2, the spatial design patterns of the farm that quietly guide people to spend more, stay longer, and keep coming back. And number 3, some simple napkin math so you can see the true scale of this place. And number 4, a farm-first roadmap for how you can build a scaled-down version of this at your own land without being a billionaire and without 1,000 staff members. So if you've ever looked at a place like this and thought, wow, I would love to create something similar on my land, this will show you the actual patterns behind it. Let's start with the offer ladder. Think of Babylonstoren as one big offer ladder. Attraction offers are a reason for strangers to come here once. Upsell offers are deeper, more premium experiences. Downsell offers are cheaper, lighter ways that almost everyone can still buy something. And continuity offers are ways that people keep buying even after they leave. I'll walk you through each, and then I'll show you how the land itself backs this up through its design. Attraction offers. At the attraction level, the goal is really simple: to get people onto the farm and give them a reason to wander around. Here, that looks like gardens. They've got huge, diverse, labyrinth-style gardens with aromatics, vineyards, fruits, nuts, vegetables, ornamentals, flowers, cactus. It's designed to get you a little bit lost, but keep discovering new places. They've also got tours, garden tours, full farm tours, wine tours, olive oil processing and tasting tours. These turn the farm itself into a paid educational experience. They've also got museums and exhibits. The olive oil museum, the wine museum, garden history. These give people something to do between meals and they deepen the story. They've also got the day visitor pass, which is basically you pay to get in and that unlocks access to the gardens, the shops, and access all the cafes and restaurants. So all of this is category 1. Attraction offers, which turn strangers into paying visitors. Upsell offers. Once you're here and loving it, there's a second layer: upsells. A few examples: they've got events and functions, like weddings, corporate events, retreats. They've got overnight stays where they have high-end rooms, suites, for a minimum of 2 nights at serious nightly rates. With the restaurants, they've got fancy dinners, special carnivore dinners, which are awesome, by the way, Italian cuisine, all kinds of different themes. Each of these is a different hero experience for people to go home and remember. They've got the spa and gym. The garden spa has pools, has a sauna, a steam room, even a salt room. My first time ever trying a salt room, it was really great. They do massages and full spa treatments, and they do premium tours. Things like mountain drives, in-depth wine tastings, and private experiences. So these upsells are for the people who don't just want to visit, but they want to fully immerse themselves. Downsell offers. Not everyone here is going to book a wedding or even a 2-night overnight stay, so they've packed in a ton of downsells, things that are easier to purchase. Small grab-and-go stuff from the various shops, the bakery, the cheesery, the butchery, wine by the glass, even ice cream, my favorite. They've got countless different value-added products: olive oils, jams, chutneys, sauces, even soaps and essential oils, all here from the farm. They've got fresh in-produce season from what's grown right here on the grounds. We saw a bunch of persimmons and prickly pear cactus, apples. They've also got a ton of branded items in the shops, things like books, magazines, even home decor to make your place feel more like this place. And of course, they do regular lunches and more casual coffees. Basically, even if you don't splurge on the big stuff, it's hard to leave here without at least buying something. And then the fourth part of the ladder, continuity offers, how they keep the relationship going after you leave the farm. They've got an online store with free delivery all across South Africa. They've got a local fleet of about 30 delivery trucks, which are daily moving produce around, annual memberships for people to have unlimited yearly access, and just people coming again and again for overnight stays and seasonal visits because they love the experience so much. So on paper, Babylonstoren has a really great money model. Attraction offers get people here, upsells to make each visit worth more, downsells so that almost nobody leaves without at least spending something, and then continuity to keep people spending over time. Now, the clever part is the whole landscape is designed to make that whole process feel effortless. Let me show you how. Spatial design: arrival, engagement loops, conversion nodes, and continuity capture. When you arrive, a few things happen before you even spend money. The parking, it's shaded, sheltered, and it feels calm and intentional. The parking areas, they're all covered in these really cool trellises with grapes on them. You can see it just makes the space way nicer. It's sheltered, it deletes the cars, and it gives you shade. Very cool. You drive through the vineyard landscape, which immediately tells you a story. The staff greets you, and there's this sense of being received, not just dumped into a parking lot. And for overnight guests, there's even a one-on-one special onboarding. Your bags get taken to your accommodation site, and then you're brought into the green room. It's a really relaxing room that feels like a super cozy lounge. Not just a waiting room, but a really cool lounge with free drinks and really cool story artifacts about the land. And it's here where they give you a beautiful big hand-painted map of the farm, and it makes you think, wow, where do I begin? So we've just arrived at Babylonstoren. This is one of the world-class leading examples of farm, hospitality, agritourism, farm hotel, restaurants, a whole ecosystem like we spoke about before. And the onboarding right off the bat was fantastic. They had us in this green room, which is a 24/7 open area where they've got games, they've got drinks, complimentary, and they've given us this beautiful watercolored map as they've explored and kind of shown us what the extent of the farm is. And I won't show you here, but you can see all those mountains in the background. The farm goes all the way to those mountains in the back and to the side. It's a huge farm, lots of different things to explore, and so we're gonna dive into it and see what we see. But already some really beautiful design patterns. We'll walk through everything, but first let's just explore and see what's happening. This is incredible, Babylonstoren. And outside the green room, they popped out into this little courtyard, sandwiched by the restaurant, the butchery, the cheesery, the ice cream place. Feels like heaven. And so the design goal here is to get you to relax, help you feel oriented, and make you want to explore. Exploration loops. Once you're right inside the farm, Babylonstoren does something very clever. They don't just give you one straight path. They give you all these exploration loops that keep you wandering, sitting in new places, and discovering cool areas. Along the way, you get more chances to eat, shop, and book experiences. So let me show you the 3 design pillars that they use to make the farm feel alive. Design pillar number 1, make wandering irresistible. First, they make wandering in and of itself feel amazing. They've got tree avenues and really strong paths with clear goals that pull you into the spaces. There's whole families of gateways and entrances so that every turn feels like it's leading you somewhere new. They've got these really subtle transitions where you pass under an arch or through a tunnel, underneath a trellis, and it feels like you've stepped into a new realm of the farm. Even really simple stuff like bike paths and bike racks, so that you can explore even further without even thinking about it. Already here for just 5 minutes and finding it impossible not to just wander, not sticking to the map and just kind of exploring these different areas. We've got this beautiful tunnel of carobs. There's gardens over here with a nice pumpkin tunnel. There's more gardens on this side. Gardens everywhere, but you can see the really deliberate flow of patterns and differentiation of all these different spaces. Like here we've got this really cool just trellis system where there's all these quinces trellised alongside of it. And see, then you walk into this garden and it's a totally different room. And that's what I mean by the outdoor rooms. We've got these hedged quinces right here where there's just quince at hip level. There's pears on the corners, benches everywhere, spots to sit. And then your eye just catches things down the path and you're like, oh, I gotta go over there now. Look at these quinces at hip level. And all of this is here for one reason, to increase your engagement and time on the farm. The longer that you're happily wandering around, the more chances you have to bump into a cafe or a shop or an activity pocket. Design pillar number 2, create places to linger, not just to pass through. And so they don't just give you corridors, but they give you these outdoor rooms where you actually want to stop and stay. You see things like positive outdoor spaces and courtyards, little rooms made by trees, hedges, buildings, and low walls. We've got these grapes along this entire, again, another pattern, trellised walkway. There's benches, and this kind of separates between 2 rooms or 2 different major areas where we've got all these very square rooms out here, the cactus room, the berry room, the pear gardens and the quince gardens, and plenty of other we haven't seen. And then this trellised walk differentiates the edge of that area. And then over there, there's a new area, just a really good use of these patterns to create a landscape that feels really enjoyable and exciting to explore. That's the key. You've got tons of sitting spaces in sunny spots or in deep shade, always places that expand out into a view. They've got water pools and streams everywhere to keep the air cool and give you a reason to pause and sit down. They've got these hidden gardens and sacred sites scattered around the farm, and they feel really tucked away and special when you discover them. So this trellis room wasn't just a trellis room, it's a berry cage with obviously open air. Birds can get in here, but it's covered. It's got a little bit of a microclimate, right? Not too intense of a sun, but there's trellises all along here with blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, boysenberries, currants, gooseberries. There's strawberries in here as well in this hanging basket, if you check this out. The berry room, or probably one of many. just across from the cactus room and the pear room. Oh, there's a giant pistachio tree. I'm hungry. And they've got these really big common areas at the heart of the farm and little activity pockets where people read or couples just sit and soak it all in. And so every time you sit down, you're extending your visit. And more time on the farm means more chances to grab a drink, order a snack, or decide to book a dinner or some kind of tour, or even a future overnight stay. Design pillar number 3, tying it all together with hubs and clusters. So they tie all these paths and outdoor rooms together with hubs and clusters of buildings. The buildings are all in clusters, they're not isolated, and so you move from one to the next without ever feeling like you've even left the experience. The reception literally welcomes you into this network and gives you everything you need to explore. Ice cold water, beautiful maps, and free alcohol. The main common areas become crossroads, where multiple paths meet, and you might come here for the gardens, but then you notice a shop and a restaurant and a spa that you didn't even see because it's hidden in the gardens. It's these hubs where the spending decisions actually happen. We're already here, let's just grab lunch. Let's just quickly pop into the shop. Next time we stay, we should come overnight. One of the first stops, we had to get the water buffalo gelato. Never had water buffalo anything before. This is gonna be great. That's really good. Just natural water buffalo gelato, kind of like a vanilla flavor. That's incredible. You gotta put an ice cream shop on your farm. And so all these patterns, paths, outdoor rooms, building clusters, they exist for business reasons, to increase engagement, increase time on farm, increase the reasons to return, and increase ways to spend money. They've literally turned walking around the farm into a beautiful but gentle sales process. Conversion nodes. These are places where the activity thickens. Restaurants, shops, reception areas, tour endpoints. Babylonstoren designs these places so that spending money is the path of least resistance. And not in an aggressive way, just a really thoughtful way of getting people to say, well, of course we'll do that. Okay, so we just got out of the farm store here at Babylonstoren, and super interesting. It deserves its own full kind of breakdown video, but they have such a huge diversity of different products from the farm, but also from their sister farms in other parts of the UK, France, Italy. Fantastic, really. Bread, cheese, wine, olive oil, preserves, fresh produce, crafts, books about the story here at Babylonstoren. You can see why it's a model farm. And so I'll show you the 3 conversion pillars that they use here on the farm. Conversion pillar number 1, thicken the activity around the money points. They thicken the activity anywhere that money changes hands. Around every major restaurant or shop, there are paths converging, lots of people moving through, and energy. You'll notice building clusters with a reception, a shop, and maybe a small cafe, all in the same zone. These nodes become places where you naturally pause and ask, what should we do next? And you end up deciding to eat here, book a tour, or buy something. Conversion pillar number 2, using tiny lead magnets and these invitations to pull you into these activity nodes. Before dinner, outside of the carnivore restaurant, they're passing out free drinks at the door. Suddenly you're outside the dinner with a drink in your hand as they're preparing this really special meal. And there's often a dedicated reception desk at each major area. The staff at reception aren't just answering your questions, but they're inviting you to visit the shops, book an experience, or enjoy a lunch or dinner as it fits into your schedule. And it doesn't feel salesy at all because the environment has already sold you. These little touch points just lower the friction and give you a gentle nudge. Conversion pillar 3, exit through the gift shop. Similar to an art gallery, here at Babylonstoren they have nailed the exit through the gift shop strategy. Both the garden and the farm tours each end at different restaurants, with the assumed close that you're going to have a meal after your tour. You've just seen the trees, the animals, and the gardens. The next natural step is to sit down and eat and enjoy the produce from what you've just gone and seen. Another example, the olive oil tour and tasting experience ends right inside the olive sales room. You've just done the tour, you're standing there with the little blend of olive oil that you've made on the tour, you've tasted all the olives and the oils, you know the story, and the shelves of olive oil are now right there for you. And so these tours and experiences naturally spill out and end at these transaction points. And they bridge the gap from, that was a great experience, into, let's grab something while we're here. And every single conversion node stacks these micro patterns into the landscape. Benches and seats so that you can sit and linger, shade and comfort, smells from the kitchens and bakeries, and displays and micro activities that just catch your eye. So that once you're already there, not buying something feels like the unusual choice. And again, all of this exists for 4 reasons: increase engagement, increase time spent on the farm, increase the number of reasons to return, and increase ways to spend money while you're here. They're not leaving any of this to chance. The whole farm gently guides you towards these hubs where it's natural and easy to say yes to the next thing. So, capture and continuity. We've now seen how Babylonstoren gets you here. They get you wandering, they get you spending. The last piece is continuity and capture. How they turn a single visit into a long-term relationship, so that you keep coming back and you keep buying from the farm, even once you're back home. I'll share the 3 pillars that make this work. Continuity pillar number 1. Capture the relationship, not just the transaction. Firstly, they're not just selling tickets, they're capturing a relationship. When you book or you enter, there's data capture. Names, emails, phone numbers. And if you stay overnight, they know who you are, where you've come from, which activities you did. They offer things like annual memberships to keep you coming throughout the year, and it quietly turns day visitors into recurring revenue. And so all of this means that after you drive away, they can still talk to you. They can tell you about new events, new products, and seasonal reasons to come back. Whereas most farms stop at, thanks for coming. And so what Babylonstoren is doing is they're building a database of people who love this farm. Continuity pillar number 2, send the farm home with you. They make sure that every little piece of the farm has an opportunity to go home with you. Everywhere you look, there's branded artifacts. Beautiful maps of the gardens, hats, bottles, umbrellas, bags that are labeled with Babylonstoren's imagery, and books and magazines and prints that share the farm story. So you don't just leave with a memory, you leave with physical reminders that live in your house or your wardrobe. So that when you're back at home, every time you see the bag or open the bottle, you're thinking about this place again. And it shifts you from, one time I visited this farm, to, this farm is now part of my story. Continuity pillar number 3, they make it super easy to continue buying from them. Inside the shops, you see big clear signage about their online store, which offers free shipping across most of South Africa. And this is so that when you discover a product that you love here, you can keep buying it once you get home. They've also got local delivery, a fleet of 30 trucks that are out every single day delivering products and produce. And they also have sister estates in other countries, like France, in the UK, Italy, so the brand can follow you around globally. And then of course there's the simple magic of a great on-site experience. Exceptional staff, amenities, and great stories that make you want to come back in a different season, or bring friends and family. All of this is about lifetime value of a customer. One ticket becomes many visits, one bottle becomes a subscription, and one overnight stay becomes, we stay here every year. And so when you zoom out, all of this spatial design isn't just for aesthetics. The parking, the paths, the outdoor rooms, the hubs, and the artifacts that go home with you, it's a physical sales funnel built into the land itself. Babylonstoren isn't optimizing for how much can we make from this customer in one day. They're optimizing for how much is this guest worth over the next 5, 10, 20 years. And that is why they can afford huge staff, incredible design, and constant maintenance. Its farm layout is engineered to quietly increase how long you stay, how often you come back, and how much you spend over a lifetime. So now that you've seen the offer ladder, the spatial design, and how they increase lifetime value, the natural question is, what does this all add up to? So we're going to do some really simple napkin math so you can see the order of magnitude of what's really happening here. Let's talk about the money machine. I'm going to do some really simple kind of napkin math so that you can see the scale of this place. And we're going to look at 3 numbers: rooms, day visitors, and extras. Now I'm going to screen share stuff with you so you can follow along. Number 1, rooms. This is a big lever. First, accommodation. There's 120 rooms, and the average night here in the low season is about $1,100 US. In the high season, $1,600 US. And after speaking with staff, apparently they're totally booked full throughout the high season, and then they're pretty full the rest of the year. And so to keep it simple, we're going to assume about 150 high season nights at full occupancy, and about 215 low season nights at 75% occupancy. That works out to roughly 37,000 room nights sold each year. Now for the money. High season, 18,000 nights times 1,600. That alone equals $29 million. In the low season, 19,000-ish nights times 1,100, the low season price, is still $21 million. And so just from people sleeping here, you're probably in the 50 million per year range, just in overnight guest revenue. Section 2, the day visitors, food and shops. In peak season, the staff told me that they get about 500 to 600 day visitors. In the off season, maybe 60 to 70% of that. And so over a whole year, that's about 160,000 day visitors. Insane. Now imagine the average person pays for their entry ticket, a meal or a snack, maybe a coffee, a glass of wine, or a small gift. So if we say the average spend is about $90 per visitor, that's 160,000 times 90. That equals 14 million US per year. And so you can think of it roughly as 10 to 15 million per year from day visitors eating and shopping on site. Section 3, extras from the overnight guests. The room price includes breakfast, but most people probably eat lunch or dinner here. They do tastings or the spa, and they buy wine and gifts to take home. So let's say that adds an extra 180 US per room night on average. So you take those same 37,000 room nights and multiply 37,000 by 180 US, and that gets you to about 7 million US per year. And so another 5 to 10 million per year from all the little extras that people are going to buy while they're here. Section 4, putting it all together. So if we add those three pieces together, rooms at about 50 million per year, day visitors 10 to 15 million, and extras 5 to 10 million, you end up in a range of about 65 to 80 million dollars per year just from people physically coming to the farm. And remember, we haven't even counted the 300 hectares of vineyards and fruit production, the bulk wine or fruit that they sell off-site, and all the branded products and online orders. And so it really wouldn't surprise me if Babylonstoren is pushing the $100 million per year mark. Now, disclaimer, I do not have access to their books. These are rough napkin math numbers based on what I spoke to staff about, public prices, and guesses on average spend. And the point here isn't to go into their exact revenue. The point here is to see that this is a serious, potentially $100 million per year farm ecosystem that's built on the land, the design, and the offers that all work together. So now you've seen how Babylonstoren has designed their offer ladder, the spatial design or the landscape, and the rough numbers. Now let's talk about what a first version of this might look like for you on your land without billionaire money and without 1,000 permanent staff members. I'll walk you through a simple 3-stage roadmap that you can literally sketch out at the dinner table tonight. How to build Babylonstoren Light at your home. Disclaimer number 2, this is a farm first, not a hotel first. Before we talk about tours, restaurants, or cabins, it's important to get one thing straight. This is a farm first model, not a hotel first. So the soil, the trees, the wine, that is the core business. Everything else is layered on top of a healthy farm and productive ecosystem. Basically, if the farm doesn't work as a farm, the hotel is just an expensive wrapper on a hobby. And so you'll need to build in stages. Unless you're already a billionaire, you're not going to launch your Babylonstoren in the first year. And so phase 0, get the farm working. And this phase is maybe less Instagrammable, but everything does depend on it. First, map your land. Boundaries, water, slopes and contours, wind, sun, access, and then decide on your primary production for the next 3 to 5 years. Fruits, nuts, wine, mixed vegetables, animals, and you design your food forest or your agroforestry decisions on those patterns. What you want to ask yourself is, what can we reliably produce year after year after year? The farm is your core offer. Experiences and products, those are just different ways of packaging and selling that farm core. After you've nailed that is phase 1, an attraction loop and one core spend. Phase 1 is not build Babylonstoren. Phase 1 is attraction loop and one core paid experience. And the goal here is really simple. Let people experience your farm as it is and prove that strangers are willing to pay to visit and buy what you produce. So you want to think of this in 3 steps. Step 1, choose a farm first attraction offer. This is the reason somebody leaves their house and drives to your place. For example, regenerative farm walk at your farm name attached, or syntropic food forest tour. Note, none of this is syntropic agroforestry by any means. Or a harvest day of the citrus on your farm. Pick one that fits your farm and your context. Don't make a menu, make one flagship attraction offer. Step 2, design the core paid experience. This is what they actually pay for on the day. Price it for X amount for the adults and X amount for children and students. And you can base those prices on your local market. You'll want to include something like a guided walk through a real production area, tasting activity from whatever you have in season right now, and a simple farm lunch based on whatever you're producing. For example, we do ice cream at the farm back home in New Zealand. And so people should leave that experience with the feeling of, I learned something interesting and I tasted the farm. Step 3, map one simple loop that supports that experience. It starts at the parking and the arrival. It walks through your key production zones, trees, animals, garden beds, whatever you're actually growing. And then it ends at a small farm shop or a stall where people can buy the things they literally just saw and tasted. No crazy labyrinth, no over-engineering, just one clean, simple circuit. So here's what winning at phase 1 looks like and what it takes to graduate. In phase 1, the win isn't some fancy branding or a huge crowd. The win is simple. Strangers pay to visit my working farm and buy some of what we produce before they leave. Once you can do that consistently, you've earned the right to move to phase 2. Phase 2, educational skills before accommodation. So phase 2 is more help, not more marble or more fanciness. Most people want to jump straight into cabins or fancy stay experiences. But for a farm-first model, the next logical step is actually education and skills. Take the people who love your farm tour and give them a way to go deeper and teach them how to do it themselves. So step 1, choose your flagship intensive. Pick one high-value workshop as your flagship. For example, design your own food forest, introduction to syntropic agroforestry. If you're paying attention to the channel, you know how to do that. Or a farm-to-table weekend at your working agroforestry farm. Make it a 1 to 3 day intensive, not just a 2-hour talk. This is for the 10 to 20% of visitors who are already thinking, wow, I want to do this on my land. Step 2, position this as a premium upsell. This should sit above your day visit on your offer ladder. Price it as a premium upsell to the tour. For most places, something like $100 to $500 US for a single weekend is reasonable. This should include time in a simple classroom space, like a barn or a shed or a covered area, lots of in-the-field practice inside of your actual working production systems, and clear take-home plans for them or next steps. Now, to be clear, you're not selling more entertainment. You're selling faster progress and fewer mistakes for the people who want what you have. And step 3 is you want to structure it like a true transformation. Think of this flagship event as a core part of your farm business. Day 1 would include concepts in a farm walk, big picture and principles thinking. Day 2 would be something like hands-on design and practical work, pruning, ground preparation, planting, for example. And day 3 could include individual plans, Q&A, and next steps for their own properties. This is your classic upsell. More of what they already just bought, more help from you, faster results, less risk of them screwing it up alone for more money. In phase 2, the win is this: a small but steady stream of my best visitors paying real money to learn from me over 2 to 3 days and leaving with a plan in their hands. Only after that's working should you actually ask yourself, do we really need people sleeping here, or are we already maxed out on just day visits and these workshops? And if you still can't fill a workshop, you probably don't need cabins. You need to get better at phase 1 and phase 2. Phase 3 is where accommodation and continuity come into play. Not as the star of the show, but as ways to deepen their relationship with your farm. The danger here is trying to build a hotel with a farm attached. What we want is a farm with a few beautiful places to stay. Step 1, decide who the stays are actually for. First, choose the role of your cabins. You've basically got 2 honest options here. One is workshop support stays. The cabins mainly serve your phase 2 guests, people coming for intensive and workshops, retreats, or small group events. And the promise is learn during the day and sleep right in the middle of the system that you're learning about. Your second accommodation option is more farm escape stays. Think Airbnb style. The cabins here serve people who just kind of want quiet, relaxing retreat spaces and nature on a real working farm. The workshops are a nice bonus, but not the main focus. And the farm in this situation is the differentiator between a more generic Airbnb. Waking up in the food forest, hearing the animals, and being able to walk the land. And the reality is both of these accommodation options can work. The key is to be explicit about who it's for and designing everything around that guest. Step 2 is to start small, beautiful, and operationally simple. Start with maybe 2 to 4 cabins or rooms, not 20. Make them architecturally beautiful, but operationally simple. Easier to clean and maintain, a clear check-in and check-out, and either self-catering or simple farm-based meals, not a full hotel kitchen. If you're going more the Airbnb style, list on Airbnb or similar sites. Make the listing focus on stay on a working regenerative farm, not a random cabin in the woods. And you can offer optional add-ons, farm tour, breakfast basket, and harvest box. Now, if you're more workshop first with your accommodation, you want to bundle your stays into your intensive at a premium tier. 2-day workshop plus 2-night stay on farm. In both cases, the cabins are just a higher ticket way for people to experience the farm that you've built in stages 1 and 2. So step 3 is you want to add a continuity layer. Add one continuity offer so that the relationship doesn't end at the checkout. Keep it simple and farm first, not lifestyle fluff. Seasonal produce or a pantry box that can be shipped to guests who loved your farm. Meat or egg seasonal CSA for locals who came on a tour. or an online community with updates for people building their own systems who want ongoing access and support. Kind of continued access version of what you already do. So continuity is just a small, kind of low work version of your main value that recurs automatically and keeps you at the top of their mind. Now, you're not inventing a new business here. You're taking what people already loved about your farm and you're giving it to them in a way to keep it in their life. Here's what winning at phase 3 looks like. At phase 3, the win is a handful of guests are paying good money to stay on the farm, and a portion of them keep supporting the farm through the CSA or ongoing access after they leave. The farm still leads this business model. Accommodations and subscriptions, they're just ways for people to stay in a relationship with the farm, not the other way around. And so your personal roadmap isn't to copy a multi-million-dollar wine estate, obviously. Make the farm work, get the soil, the trees, the production systems going first. Let people experience that working farm. One attraction loop, one paid experience. Prove that strangers will pay to visit and buy what you grow. Teach the people who want more. Run real intensives and workshops for the small percentage of visitors who are serious about doing this on their own land. Number 4, and only then if it makes sense, give a few of them a place to sleep. And a simple way of continuing to support the farm with boxes, CSA, or some kind of membership. And that's the pattern that you're seeing play out at Babylonstoren today. Just with more money, more time, and a lot more staff. Start with phase 0, then phase 1, 2, and 3. One loop, one offer, one group of strangers who pay to experience your farm. Build that, and then don't quit. Apparently the new owner only started this retrofit from a farm into a production facility and the hospitality side of things in 2007. So it was not that long ago. I mean, when you're a billionaire, it's easier, right? You have a lot more capital you can deploy on projects like this, but you certainly don't need to be a billionaire to make something like this in your own context. So that's mostly what I'm here interested in exploring. What are the patterns and how can you apply this on, $1,000 budget, 10,000, 100,000, a million? Because it doesn't take money to understand these patterns, and I think that's the key part. The sunrise this morning was absolutely incredible. The morning light on the gardens and on the big cliffs on the mountains. We've got these donkeys over here. Let's go say hello to the donkeys. Scene change, we're in Japan. It's spring, it's beautiful, but I want to leave you with this before I go. If you are interested in putting together some kind of regenerative farm stay or syntropic hospitality asset, I'm putting together a small group of people that I'm going to work really closely with over the next year. If that's interesting for you, click the link below, put your email, and I'll send you the details as soon as it's ready. Until then, imagine if I'd fallen in. Imagine if I just